විෂන් කෙයා විශ්වාසනීය දැක්ම.
සාධාරණ මිලයි විශ්වාසවන්ත සේවාවයි.
Fundamental rights petitions challenging the 20th Amendment to the Constitution were heard by the 5-member bench of the Supreme Court for 4 days. Addressing the court today, Attorney General Dapuro de Oliveira stressed that all the provisions contained in the 20th Amendment to the Constitution are in accordance with the Constitution. The Attorney General said that the 20th Amendment expands the responsibility of the President to ensure free and fair elections in accordance with the Constitution and provided a strong legal basis for him to do so. The Attorney General also stated that the President would be able to exercise his executive powers without any hindrance by proposing to reinstate through the 20th Amendment the immunity of the President, which was lost through the 19th Amendment. However, the petitioners alleged that the President's official duties could not be challenged through the restoration of the President's immunity and that the powers of the judiciary would be curtailed through the 20th Amendment. Rejecting the argument, the Attorney General stated that the 20th Amendment would not in any way curtail the powers of the judiciary. He added that the 20th Amendment bill proposed to empower the President to dissolve Parliament 1 year after the date of its election. However, the proposed amendments have been amended during the committee stages of Parliament to permit the President to dissolve Parliament after 2.5 years from the date of election. The Attorney General pointed out that this would further strengthen the sovereignty of the people and would allow the President to dissolve Parliament solely for the public benefit and re-elect new representatives if Parliament is not functioning properly. The Attorney General also rejected the petitioner's contention that the proposed 20th Amendment bill empowers the President to refer a bill rejected by Parliament for a referendum, thereby violating the sovereignty of the people. The Attorney General pointed out that although the petitioners alleged that the proposal to abolish the Constitutional Council established under the 19th Amendment by the 20th Amendment bill violates the sovereignty of the people, the Constitutional Council is merely a mechanism for making official appointments. The Attorney General stated that the President has the power to reject any recommendations made by the Constitutional Council and not act accordingly. He pointed out that the 20th Amendment bill would replace the Constitutional Council established by the 19th Amendment with a parliamentary council and that there would be no serious changes. In addition, the petitioners alleged that the removal of restrictions that bar dual citizens from contesting parliamentary and presidential elections through the 20th Amendment is a violation of the sovereignty of the people. To this, the Attorney General stated that under the Citizenship Act, with an individual being granted dual citizenship by the state, the minister in charge of the subject has the power to deprive the individual of such status at any time. As such, the Attorney General pointed out, if the individual loses this status, he will also lose his seat. The Attorney General added that dual citizens are also Sri Lankan citizens and it would be unfair to discriminate against them in this manner. Meanwhile, the petitioners have also alleged that the provision for the introduction of emergency bills in the 20th Amendment was also unconstitutional. In response, the Attorney General said that in the event of an emergency, such as a disaster or an epidemic, emergency bills could only be introduced for the benefit of the public. He added that this is not the first time that the Constitution of the country has introduced methods by which emergency bills can be introduced, and also emphasized that amendments to the Constitution would not be made under this emergency system. Further, the petitioners also alleged that the 20th Amendment bill empowered the Election Commission to issue guidelines to private media institutions in the country during election periods, which they claim was unconstitutional. The Attorney General pointed out that such amendments were proposed solely to ensure free and fair elections. Attorney General Dapuro de Oliveira also pointed out that several new provisions have been introduced in the 20th Amendment bill to introduce international quality standards to auditing in Sri Lanka, which he said were not unconstitutional as claimed by the petitioners. The Attorney General pointed out that the powers of the present National Police Commission have been transferred to the Public Service Commission by the proposed bill, and that the Public Service Commission has been given wide powers to hear complaints made by the public against the activities of the police. Attorney General Dapuro de Oliveira emphasized that there was no need for a referendum to pass any of the provisions of the bill as a whole, and that the bill could easily be passed by a 2/3 majority in Parliament. On this note, oral submissions on the petitions filed before the Supreme Court challenging the 20th Amendment to the Constitution concluded today. Following this, Chief Justice Jayantha Jayasuriya announced that the decision of the court will be communicated to the President and the Speaker of Parliament in due course.